Glad you're here, Virgo Rising. It's Cosmic Girl 101 here and wishing you a very happy year for 2025. I'm Cosmic Girl 101. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be taking you through the astrology and the planetary aspects and movements for the month of January 2025, our first calendar month of the year. Is very busy with the planets in aspects and transits. It's going to be a more dense, longer video because of the solar system's activities with the planets and the lunations. Lots of changes going on for all of us. So if deep analytical astrological information is not your jam, I appreciate that, Virgo Rising. This content may not be for you, but if you do like deep analytical astrological information and that's influencing your Virgo Rising sign, your Cosmic Girl 101 has you covered. So let's get into it. From the 1st to the 5th of January, we have a Pluto-Mars retrograde opposition. So this opposition could make you feel like you're getting lost in a source. You're just loving, indulging in self-care, self-love, things you like doing behind the scenes, not being so present and available for people. And this could have a slight of hand sensation about this, because what I think you may be mentally, cerebrally struggling with whilst you're checking out and doing all these wonderful things that give you a sense of optimism and flair for life, it's grating on you because of something going on or needing your attention regarding health, work, services, or labor. So this is like dodging the bullet. I'm not going to work. I don't want to do the repairs on the house. I really don't want to concentrate on my diet right now. I'm too busy having fun. So the push-pull happening between the 1st and the 5th of January is about you showing up and doing what you would normally be quite diligent and adept at doing, which is being responsible and getting a job done. Whilst at the same time, you just want to be off and running with your own race and being the absolute opposite of your personality, which is indulgent, optimistic, enjoying opulence, enjoying life, having fun. So it's contradicting energies pulling at you from the 1st to the 5th of January. On the 2nd of January, we have Venus ingressing into the zodiac sign of Pisces, and this is Venus's sign of exaltation. She couldn't be happier, in short, in the zodiac sign of Pisces. So Venus on the 2nd of January, transiting in Pisces in a part of your chart that's connected to relationships, partnerships, contracts, agreements, rest, and blissing out is where this transit will be happening for the rest of January. So Venus transiting in your 7th house is where you connect with other people. You shake hands, you sign on the dotted line, you put a ring on it. That's what the 7th house is like. It's about other people, what we find value in. The contradicting thing about Venus being in exaltation, however, in the sign of Pisces in your 7th house, is where you may get lost in relationships and contracts. You might be blown around more by your emotions, and that could be mind-boggling to you, why someone's really drawing your attention away from yourself or what you want to accomplish. You could be feeling unusually hyper emotional or drained by other people at this time. So it's a quite contradicting first few days of the month of January, and especially from the 2nd of January moving forward with Venus in your 7th house of other people. This could be particularly draining on you emotionally, so you could get all tied up in other people's business, if you will, and relationships that may be overindulgent, a little bit too much for you. It's like finding a guru or an astrologer and you get all lured in, if you will, into the mystery, delving into the esoteric side of life. And that's unusual for you. But the pull of Venus being exalted in Pisces is quite strong. So having that emotional discipline is highly advised, Virgo rising, with Venus transiting in your seventh house. So you're not getting sucked down any emotional draining rabbit holes or tied up with other people, especially agreements and contracts that you commit to or anchor into. On the 6th, we have Mercury, your ruling planet, squaring off with Neptune. So this day, the 6th of January, for all of us is a particularly crunchy day. But for you, from your ruling planet situated in Sagittarius in your fourth house, squaring off with Neptune in Pisces, where Venus has just landed, and we also have Saturn here as well. So you have a stellium going on in your seventh house, Pisces rising. Virgo rising. So there's a lot of activity going on in that seventh house with 3 planets now situated here. So when you have Mercury, your ruling planet, looking at your seventh house in a conflict mode, what you could be dealing here on the 6th of January with is feeling torn about where is my home? What do I need? Am I on the right track? Is my contracts in place to get home renovations done? Is the deeds going to be handed over to me? Do I feel certain? Do I feel comfortable in my surroundings? And what could be grating on you, or what you could be finding it hard to put your finger on why you are feeling this way, is because of other people, relationships, contracts, and agreements. So you may be in 2 minds about a home, real estate, or property subject, or you may be feeling a little uncertain, unsure about the foundations in your life. And this could be reflected back to you through the relationships and contracts and agreements that you've committed to. So take it easy is the astrological advice on the 6th of January. Again, with that stellium in your seventh house being Venus, Neptune, and Saturn, this house, the seventh house of other people, is strong, and you are getting a lot of mirroring, if you will, mirroring back to you what it is that lures you in. And that can be quite sobering. So deep breaths, take it easy on the 6th of January, and especially with this stellium in your seventh house. We also, on the same day, the 6th of January, have Mars retrograding back into Cancer. So Mars is going to be leaving your 12th house of Leo and retrograding back into your 11th house of social networks and connections. Now, Cancer is a water cardinal yin sign. So social connections and people that you surround yourself with have to, at some level, provide a sense of nurturing and support for you. And you may be very good at playing it cool. You might be quite unnerved and untrustworthy with Mars retrograding back here in your 11th house of friendships, because Cancer is all about protection and security. And you, with having Mars retrograding back here, may not feel so secure in regards to your friendships or even your dreams and your aspirations for your future. Could be taking a knock. You could be going through re-strategizing, rethinking about your future in a very profound way, and may also feel that your social networks and people that you surround yourself with are not present, or you have very different ideals with others. So this is like a clash of ideologies and concepts about the future and your social connections, your friendships, and your goals. So again, with Mars retrograding back into this zodiac sign, which won't go direct, Mars will not go direct in your 11th house of Cancer until the 23rd of February next month. So this window of time, if you will, Virgo rising, is highly exacerbated, and this gives you an opportunity to sort of sort out the wheat from the chaff in regards to who you surround yourself with, what your actual aspirations for your future are. Do you have fair weather friends? Do you have certain friends? Do you have people that support you? Or do you feel that your friendships or people that you surround yourself with emotionally drain you? With Mars retrograding here before it goes direct on the 23rd of Feb, this is a great time for identifying how you get lured in emotionally in social connections, in your dreams and your goals. Are they in reality? Do they serve you? Do they have a foundation? Do they give you a sense of life force, or do they take that away from you? So that's something you may be navigating with Mars retrograding back in Cancer in your 11th house before it goes direct on the 23rd of February. We also then, because Mars is retrograded back into your 11th house of Cancer, Pluto's still opposing Mars retrograde because Pluto's not going anywhere at the moment, situated in Aquarius in your 6th house. So again, this leads to astrologically, with the planets in transits and the aspects they're making with one another, Virgo rising, this indicates that because of all this emotional activity with social connections, your dreams, your goals for your future, the people you hang with, really taking a lot of your attention and draining you potentially, or you're trying to just find who's my tribe. Whilst this is quite important, its support systems through friends and social networks are very important, absolutely. But for some reason, with Pluto opposing Mars retrograde in your 11th house from your 6th house of work, health, service, and labor, again, it seems to be dragging you away from the things that are very important to you regarding keeping up appearances, keeping on top of your health routines. So this is like hanging out with your bad friends that you know are going to be dragging you down and luring you down rabbit holes that you know are not going to be good, but you can't help it. This is just who they are, and I'm going with it. So that push-pull between I should be doing this, I should be getting on top of my fitness, I should be getting on top of my work, I should be really committed to, selfless service to myself and others, I should be doing my Virgoan thing organically, which is just doing what I have to do before I'm doing what I want to do. There's a contradiction because you're being lured out or sort of drained or pulled by other people in different directions, and that could be really grating on you as well from the 6th to the 11th, now that Pluto is opposing Mars retrograde in your 11th house in Cancer. Okay, so on the 8th of January, things are looking more beneficial for you regarding your body, your sense of self, your identity, who you are, because your ruling planet Mercury on the 8th of January is ingressing into Capricorn. And this is a very practical, earthy, grounded yin cardinal zodiac sign. Capricorn is, for better word, predictable, mundane, structured, certain, solid, and dependable. And this is your house of joy, your house of children, the house of creativity, hobbies that you enjoy integrating with, romance, dating, sex, and pleasure. This house, the 5th house, is where we get our adrenaline pumping. It's the house of Venus's joy. Now, Venus is situated in your 7th house of Pisces, where she couldn't be happier. So there's a nice connection here from the 5th house to the 7th house because it's a sextile, and this is Venus's house of joy. So when your ruling planet is moving into the zodiac sign of Capricorn from the 8th of January, you are feeling more embodied and connected in regards to the practical parts of your perception of joy and pleasure. So you could be more diligent and responsible in guiding or working with children, if applicable. You may be more structured in your hobbies and your creative pursuits, what you do entrepreneurial. You may be really rolling your sleeves up, getting a job done and really enjoying it. You've got a sharp mind. You're all embodied. You're all on it. Romance, sex, and dating takes more of a center stage, and you may be trying to revamp your sex life, the romance in your life. And again, with that Venus sextiling her house of joy, this looks good for you being quite intelligent and cerebral about your physical, sexual prowess or body or romantic connections. So I like this for you when your ruling planet Mercury steps into Capricorn, your fifth house of joy and pleasure from the 8th of January. If at all that you feel that you are anchored in any way, shape, or form to feeling lackluster and not your vibrant self, this transit will also be quite helpful because Mercury rules you and your body, and you will be able to discern, detach, and unravel yourself from any bounds or entanglements that are taking you away from feeling your solid, earthy, predictable, for a better word, sexy self. On the 13th of January, we're having our first full moon of 2025, and it is a beautiful full moon because it's in the zodiac sign of Cancer, and the moon is the planet that's connected to the zodiac sign of Cancer. In short, the moon couldn't be happier. So with the moon in Cancer in full bloom, trining your seventh house where Venus, Neptune, and Saturn are situated, this looks like an auspicious moment of a cathartic emotional release. This is leaving a group, stepping into a new social connection. This is letting go of a dream or a goal and looking towards the horizons with more optimism. This is you feeling that you may be ready to finally get some jobs done that you've been glossing over and putting some healthy boundaries in place between you and other people that take you away from keeping you anchored, solid, and predictable, and doing the things that you need to do to make you feel your healthy, wealthy, certain best. So it is a wonderful lunation for all of us, but for you, this is the moment, if you will, that you realize you've hit a pinnacle moment. You've only gone so far with a dream. You've only gone so far with a group of friends or a social connection. You've only gone so far. This is it. And now I can just enjoy and understand and process. I know that this is my limit, and I'm happy to now anchor into something solid and permanent for myself. And there's some sort of emotional release or intellectual understanding that emotions are all tied up in regards to how you feel on the day-to-day. And this can be a healthy full moon of a purge or release, and trining that seventh house with Venus, Neptune, and Saturn. This looks fabulous for finally releasing in a relationship or a contract or agreement, putting things to rest, stepping into new environments, people, places, and faces, releasing yourself and bringing in new adventure, new ways of enjoying your daily routine. So a wonderful lunation for you, Virgo rising, on the 13th of January. Then moving on to the 14th to the 15th, we have Venus situated in your relationship house, squaring off with Jupiter retrograde. So this day could be particularly sobering in regards to trying to identify what you do on the professional stage, your public name, your sense of ambition. How are you tracking? Do you need to go back to an old job? Do you need to release an old job or an old identity? How you've been known professionally forever? Does something need to fade away? And the square is a conflict with Venus and Jupiter. And respectively, these planets in our solar systems are the good doers. They're very life-giving. They're about unifying. But in a square aspect, from the 14th to the 15th of January, right smack in the middle of our first calendar month, we have a conflict, and the conflict for you, Virgo rising, is your identity on the world stage, your name, your public ambitions, your career is being jarred, or there is a relationship or a contract that is binding you, whether you're trying to get out of one or create one. This is the tension. I also warn you astrologically, Virgo rising, not to spread yourself too thin. Don't overcompensate and again get dragged into emotional rabbit holes or connections that bind you or give you a public reputation of being, oh, see, they've just done it again. They've got themselves all wound up in a situation they didn't need to be in. So this is about taking caution in being too optimistic or overindulgent. And this is all about your career, your public name and image versus relationships, agreements, and contracts. So these are easy does it days. Look before you leap days on the 14th and 15th of January. From the 15th to the 16th, we have Venus conjuncting Saturn, and we also have the Sun opposed Mars retrograde. Now, the 14th to the 15th for everybody is going to be very pivotal, poignant moments in each of our experiences, especially if you follow astrology. This is like you can hear and you can navigate the planetary aspects and the terrain coming ahead. So if you need to make very sobering, very hard decisions on the dates of the 15th and 16th regarding contracts, agreements, and endings, and letting go of a hobby, a romantic idealization, a friendship, or a social connection, a social group, or even a dream, these are the days to do it. These 2 days are about let's get real days. I'm in or I'm out, or we connect or we don't connect. We begin this new venture together with a relationship or a partnership. It doesn't have to be intimate, or we end it. And there's some certainty moving forward and very decisive moments from the 15th to the 16th that I think we're all making. But for you, it's about how you're all caught up in other people's relationships and contracts and agreements emotionally, and you may be ready to go, I'm done. And it has a social component or repercussion to this decision as well that has a knock-on effect to your sense of romance, duty regarding your professional hobbies and entrepreneurial pursuits, and anything to do with your sense of joy and pleasure. So there's complexity and nuances going on here with the planets in aspects on the 15th and 16th of January. But for you as a Virgo rising, in short, decisions that you make them from the head. Trust the intuition. Simply because of the stellium in the 7th house indicates that you might be emotionally drawn into partnerships and contracts that are quite lofty, long-winded, hard to get out of. So look before you leap days emotionally with your connections, social connections, romantic partnerships, and your hobbies from the 15th to the 16th of January. You do you. You've also got free will, yeah? On the 19th, we see the sun ingress into Aquarius, and the sun is now moving into your 6th house where Pluto is. And the sun is in detriment. So this is like going to that annual dental checkup that we don't like doing, but we have to do it. That's like the sun being in detriment. I don't like being here. So when the sun steps into Aquarius in your 6th house, this is a clash of ideologies, concepts, and ideas about work, health, services, and labor. So what's lit up, if you will, with by that sun? The sun is about life force. It's an ideal. It's the constant. So you may start to unravel mysteries about where you block yourself mentally from breaking out of routines, anything to do with the subjects of work, health, service, and labor. And what you see on the day-to-day, and especially with your body responding in kind to your environment and what you do on the day-to-day, you may not like what you feel, see, and know. So this indicates to me, Virgo rising, that you need a change up of routine. You need to liberate, be more future oriented, seek out new people, places, and faces that stimulate you intellectually in breaking out of old molds, is the astrological advice for you. When the sun moves into Aquarius in your sixth house from the 19th for 4 weeks. Now on to the 21st to the 22nd of January. We have the Sun-Pluto conjunction happening in that sixth house that we just discussed, which sets off a new cycle for 12 months. The Sun will travel through the zodiac and won't connect with Pluto again in the zodiac sign of Aquarius for another 12 months. So this is a 12-month cycle. So don't gloss over or dilly-dally around, if you will, Virgo rising, about what you dislike about work, health, services, and labour, your physical body, personal hygiene. Don't gloss over this, because this new 12-month cycle is an opportunity to profoundly change what is mundane, what is permanent, what is always a permanent fixture in the Virgo rising zone when it comes to that sixth house. There's an opportunity to break out of ruts, routines, and do things differently. And again, with that sun in Aquarius, even though it doesn't like being in Aquarius, it is shining a light and letting you know it's time to be more intellectual and freedom thinking and future oriented about these subjects. So it's a 12-month cycle starting from the 21st to the 22nd of January for all of us, but for you in that sixth house, it's time to get down to brass tacks on what's working and what's not on the day-to-day, what's familiar. Time to shake it all up, yeah? The same days we have Uranus retrograde, sextiling Mars retrograde. So what's useful about this new cycle that's starting, this new 12-month cycle for you, Virgo rising, is that it's going to help you break out of the mold, expand your body, mind, and soul. So it's like, if you can just change things up in the daily dynamics, it'll help you expand through international travel, learning new cultures, spiritual practices, higher education, getting involved with worldly ambitions. Also helping you open up to new social connections, which I'm not surprised with that Mars retrograde in Cancer in your 11th house of social connections, with changes going on there. From the 21st to the 22nd of January, when the Sun conjuncts that Pluto and it hits this Uranus retrograde, sextiling Mars retrograde in Cancer, it gives you the potential to also connect with new social groups, open up your horizons, give you new dreams and goals for the future. So this is indicating astrologically for me, with these planets and transits and aspects happening for you, Virgo rising, you have all the ingredients with the planets assisting you in getting you out of the familiar and bringing in some real fresh people, places, and faces and ideas and concepts about work, living your life, having that metaphor of I work to live, I don't live to work, is a potentially potent little footnote you can put on your fridge that you see every day. So I think there's potential for you to really open up from deep within your spiritual soul, your heart, your work, your body, your mind. Things can really transform in a big way from the 21st to the 22nd of January. If you can only break through ideas and concepts that are holding you back. The 23rd to the 24th, we have Mercury, your ruling planet, opposing Mars retrograde. The same day, your ruling planet also trines Uranus retrograde. So this is about not being on the same page in regards with communication versus action. So the actions you're taking, what you're moving towards regarding projects that you enjoy, hobbies, romance, dating, children if applicable, working within those realms close to your heart, that fifth house where Mercury is at the moment in Capricorn for you, looking across the sky at Mars retrograde in Cancer in your 11th house. These 2 days, the 23rd to the 24th, is about I'm doing what I love doing, and I don't need to be dragged out socially. I don't need to commit to anything too ambitious. And this is wise for you to draw healthy lines in the sand with people that are trying to drag you out from things that you enjoy and that you love and that you find near and dear to your heart. And with your ruling planet trining Uranus retrograde on the same days, this is helpful for you to keep those healthy distances in check, because you could have an opportunity to learn something new, a new travel opportunity. This is also an opportunity also to take on a new spiritual perspective about your life and trusting that what's important to you is enough and not what other people are doing. So this is not being selfish. This is self-preservation days, the 23rd to the 24th of January. We have beautiful days coming up, Virgo rising. From the 25th to the 26th, we've got Venus sextiling Uranus retrograde. Venus is the planet that is connected to the zodiac sign of Taurus. So we have a strong sextile going on. And sextiles are aspects that are easy, they're flowy, they're organic, they feel good. And the 25th to the 26th of January for all of us are feel good days. But you'll find the joy and pleasure on these days coming from relationships with international connections, higher education, spiritual practices, different cultures, learning something foreign. This is where you find the joy and the peace and serenity from the 25th to the 26th of January. On the 29th, your ruling planet is conjuncting Pluto because now Mercury has left Capricorn and now ingressed into the zodiac sign of Aquarius, your 6th house. So Mercury is going to conjunct Pluto. And yes, Mercury will not connect with Pluto for another 12 months when he goes through the whole zodiac and hits Pluto again. So this new cycle is about you, your body, your image, your sense of self. Conjuncting Pluto in that 6th house is like taking on a new health routine, doing something new in your daily routine, starting a new job, connecting with a service, you providing a service, you having a new relationship with labor and service, having more of a healthy balance with those subjects. This looks fabulous for you going, I'm all in, I'm embodied, I'm grounded. But there's something different about this new beginning that you're starting on the 29th. So this indicates that what you're starting for 12 months, Virgo rising, is a little out of the box, a little against the status quo. So might being a little bit funky here and, flying your own freak flag here, which is quite good. And you might be doing something quite different or odd or almost against your nature, but there's something instinctual pulling you to change something on the day-to-day, and you're all in on the 29th of January. The same day, we also have a new moon happening in this house. So this could indicate you going into a whole new environment, something maybe distant from your usual place. So it's like not a familiar environment. It's a completely different one. You could be surrounding yourself with new co-workers, new services, new people. But with a new moon, this indicates that it's an embodied, optimistic, future-oriented, different way of looking at the day-to-day, and you're all in. So this looks lovely on the 29th of January for you, Virgo rising. Can you hear astrologically that you're about to take off? So this indicates that you're wrapping things up. You're detangling and detaching from people, places, and faces that are familiar, and you're ready to spring into something new and something that you've maybe had a fire burning under your feet or itchy feet for a very long time. I can see potentially for some Virgo risings out there, you're about to really launch into something quite new and future oriented. And I think that's fabulous. And it's certainly got an edge of, you're not really running with the crowd here. And I like that. I really do. So well done. Then on the 30th, we have Uranus going direct in Taurus, and that's your ninth house. Now, Uranus, you've had Uranus in your ninth house of Taurus since 2018. So this isn't like your first rodeo when it comes to changes with the topics and subjects of higher education, international and foreign connections, travel, bureaucracy, legalities, spiritual practices, different cultures, things that are foreign to you. And this is where the changes have been going on since 2018. And when Uranus goes direct on the 30th of January, whatever happens and occurs connected to those topics and subjects moving forward, it's like rolling water off a duck's back metaphor. You're not too fussed if you don't get that overseas contract. You're not too fussed if you can't go on that holiday. Or you're not too fussed or phased or even surprised, dare I say, if you move overseas on a whim. It's like, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. It was instinctual. You're not too fussed about dealing with changing up your spiritual or religious paths or practices. It's like, oh, I've done enough study. I've ended that study now. I want to do something new. There's something more I'm seeking. So Uranus moving direct, you get the picture that you're sort of rolling with the punches more organically. You've developed a muscle for being really flexible in the ninth house topics of expansion, growing through spiritual, physical, and cerebral experiences. Then the last 2 days of the calendar month, the 30th to the 31st of Jan, we have the Sun trining Jupiter retrograde. This is beautiful. A Sun-Jupiter trine is easy, it's flowy, it's harmonious, it's like the ideal. This is perfect. This is going to be perfect. So from the 30th to the 31st, it's a perfect time for you to change up something to do with your career, your superiors in your workplace, you taking on more of a leadership role, learning how to delegate and balance work, health, and services, connected to your public image, your name, what you do professionally. This looks great. And we also have Venus in your seventh house conjuncting Neptune. And this looks fabulous for landing a dream contract or dissolving a work contract. You anchor into a relationship or you dissipate one, and it just makes you feel like you're on the right track. You're kicking proverbial goals when it comes to your lofty ambitions and your day-to-day environment changing and responding in kind, and your body really lighting up with these really flowy days, the 30th to the 31st of January. These are the days, Virgo rising, where you are feeling quite certain about what works and what doesn't when it comes to your relationships, contracts, and agreements, your professional life, what you do publicly, and your work, health, and services, and your body. So everything's aligning up, everything's coming up roses on the 30th to the 31st of January. And this indicates astrologically that you are feeling certain. You've got your intellectual hat on. You're all embodied. You're all in. You're all connected. You know what you're doing. You know what you want. You know what you don't want. So the last 2 days of January are just reflecting back to you that you're on the right track of what you anchor into and what you disintegrate yourself from. So lovely, lovely last 2 days of the month. So there you have it. That's your astrology for the first calendar month of January 2025. You've got this right. My goodness, can you appreciate just how busy the solar system is with the planets in transits and the aspects they're making with one another? There is a lot to digest. I appreciate that. So if you've stuck around for the whole video, well done you. And I do appreciate it. So moving forward, if you haven't already subscribed and you like the content, you like my style of delivering the astrology connected to your rising sign, please feel free to subscribe, hit the bell notification for upcoming astrological videos, and also like the video, share, comment. What can you look forward to? What are you looking forward to in 2025? It is a year of astrological change. We're all in this together. But my standout for you this month, Virgo rising, is getting yourself out of an intellectual box about ideas and concepts. Your ideology is about work, health, service, and labor. You know, you work you're working to live, you're not living to work. And I think these are the key things that maybe you may be ruminating about. And it's all tied up in your home, real estate and property, and your relationships, contracts and agreements. So these are the main topics and subjects that I think will be on the forefront for you. But ultimately, what's screaming astrologically to me for you, Virgo rising, is listening to the body clock, understanding intuition, like your gut health, your nervous system, how your body is responding in kind to the environment that you surround yourself and anchor yourself in. Is it working? Is it not? Is it time to change something up? Is it time to stop navel gazing, overindulging, not dropping out of the light, keeping up appearances, doing the work that you need to do? That's my astrological standout for you. And I'm not laying down an anvil and being a father, but I think maybe you are more prone to, as a Virgo rising, being stern and quite cutting with yourself. So this is about creating a more intellectual intelligence about going, look, I need to give myself a break. Absolutely. But keeping the fun and keeping a healthy, safe distance from others and professional lives and relationships serves you in a capacity to keep your clock running smoothly and make you feel certain, grounded and content with what you are all about and what you're trying to achieve, instead of getting all tied up and lost in the juice of others and the worldly stage. So healthy balances, and it's nothing that you can't handle, but you want to keep your nervous system, your mental space in check. So if you need professional help, you need a safe sounding board, seek it out, please. And anything to do with health concerns, absolutely consult a health expert. Okay, so thanks again. And yeah, I'm looking forward to 2025. It's going to be a big year of change. So thank you. And remember, Virgo rising, stay cosmic.